Good afternoon, everyone. It is Gina Bulow coming to you live on this Friday, September 26th. We have the lovely Florals Scrapbook Workshop today. So when you guys get on, say hello. Tell me where you're coming from. Tell me what good is happening in your world. I'm just kind of moving things just a little bit out of the way and stuff here. Let's see, I've got lots to share with you today. One thing I am going to admit is I kind of oopsied for today. So today's class will go through probably a little bit faster than normal, but we're gonna go with it here. Normally when I do this class, I buy 2 workshop kits and I design with one and then I make the other one with all of you live. I forgot to buy that second kit, so we're gonna go through the scrapbook pages today, but we'll be able to put the cards together. So I'll talk you through the workshop pages, and if you guys have questions about anything, please shout out, ask me whatever questions you have. Hello, Denise, coming from Louisiana. So just let me know any questions you have along the way. You'll also get the PDF and that for those of you who ordered the kit. Now this class is a $75 product order class. So you need to order $75 in order to get this. Get the tutorial along. I also send a bonus kit. So not only do you need to order the workshop kit, so you either need to have it, or if you have it already, that's fine too. Order $75 worth of stuff. So fill in if you need glue, DSP, a stamp set, whatever you want. And then I include an additional kit that I will send to you. And that includes extra cardstock pieces, extra die cuts, ribbon, cardstock mats and all that for your cards. I'm trying to think what else it has. Ribbon, gems, die cuts, extra things. So you'll get a whole separate kit mailed to you for that, okay? So I'll show you a few things I've got coming up and then we'll get stamping. So first thing we have is I did on Wednesday the live version of some samplers, and oh, I'm so happy with how they turned out. I haven't done a sampler in, I can't even tell you when. It's been a long time. And so I created 2 samplers. We did a Halloween one here, which you'll see here, and then a fall one here. So you can switch these in and out. As October comes, you could put the Halloween one in. Right now you could use the fall one for now and then bring it back out in November if you would like. Hello, Hope, welcome. And then these are the frames I got. These are from our local Hobby Lobby. I don't know if Hobby Lobby is a nationwide or if it is local to an area or not. But I told everyone that I would put this link in the video in the comment section, and for whatever reason YouTube was not allowing me to do comments the other day. I had someone reach me through there wanting to take the class, and I had replied to her several times, and for whatever reason that had disappeared along with the link. So if you are looking for the link for the frames for this class, you can go to my Facebook page, Glitter and Ink with Gina, and in the video that I posted of the class, so I took the YouTube video, posted it on my Facebook page, and in the comment section there, I have a link that can link you to the Hobby Lobby website where these frames are. This 12 by 12 frame is $12, but they had 50% off this week, so run to Hobby Lobby quick and go get your frame while they're 50% off. So the frame was only $6, and it comes in multiple colors. I have this one here. It's kind of a gray wood color. They have like your pine color, white, black, and I believe gold also. So there are several different colors that you could pick from, or you could pick any other 12 by 12 frame that you would like. And I had another frame here that I showed in the video where it was more of a shadow box. You could absolutely do that too. So pick what goes with your decor and go from there. So these are $26, and Not quite sure what the shipping cost is, so I have to figure that out yet. And those of you who want to ship these with Christine, let us know, and we'll try to work out something so that all your shipments can be combined, and we'll give you kind of a total later for shipping. I think we're gonna have to do it by a case scenario. We just talked about that. So let me know if you have any questions in regards to that, or if you want to order these. Let me see, find space for everything here. Then I have coming up on Monday, or actually I still have, so I did the online class for the samplers, but I am doing it in person this Sunday at my home, and then next week Sunday, October 5th at my home. So if you're interested in doing it in person, reach out to me, and you have 2 options for that. And then I have coming on Monday is Morning Create. We're gonna make these 3 beauties. I stuck in a little Halloween one yet because my next Morning Create isn't until the week of Halloween, and I thought, well, if you guys want to send out a Halloween card, it might get a little close to that deadline. So I snuck in this Halloween card, and this could be a great guy's birthday card. And I made this one a sympathy card because I always feel like I never have sympathy cards, and I've been trying to make sure to make a point to stick this in, but absolutely you could take these and switch out your sentiments. They could be a birthday card, it could be whatever you need it to be, a thinking of you card. So this class is Monday online at 9 o'clock and in person at 10:30. And then next week is World Card Making Day. So next Saturday is that day. And I planned on stamping with you all day, but I had to change it because it is also homecoming for me. So I was going to do a live early in the morning and then in person a little bit later, but I moved my in-person up to 9 so that I can go home and get Bella ready for homecoming. And I think I'm going to have a bunch of teenagers at my house. I'm not sure yet. So we're going to do a Christmas card buffet. So we'll make 6 cards. Those of you who are in person, you get to pick which cards and how many you want to make. Those of you online, you will get all 6 cards. Now I've not designed them all, but I have one to show you. So that's how we roll around here lately. So here is your 1 card sneak peek of the card buffet. Now, so instead of doing live on Saturday, I'm actually going to be live again on Wednesday, October 1st at 9 a.m. for this class. So I have 5 more cards to create. We'll see how much energy I got when I get home tonight. I'm kind of feeling that afternoon sluggish, whatever. So I'm hoping my caffeine kicks in before I get home and I can maybe pump out a bunch and get them here for Chris's showcase tomorrow morning. So
have such high hopes.
There's lots of high hopes, and maybe I could get 1 or 2 done, but we're hoping for, you know, the rest of the 5, but we'll see. No promises here, okay? And let's see, what else? Oh, I have a sneak peek here. This is November, so this is way far out, and I have the rest designed. But we had the Autumn Creative Escape, right? And so I did a display board using the traditional labels and traditional Christmas, and there was a scrapbook suite or workshop in there. So I did 2 pages from that. So this kit will be in November. So here are 2 alternative pages to that kit. And then this next month in October will be the Halloween kit. So that's what we'll be doing next month. All right, I'm hoping I've showed you guys everything I need. One more thing I just want to point out. If you guys are looking for me and you don't know where to find me, here's where you guys can find me. Like I said, I had problems with commenting through YouTube. Usually it's not a problem, but I did. So if you ever can't reach me through there, these are the best places to reach me. Go and follow me on my Facebook page, Glitter and Ink with Gina. Make sure you're following me there. That is probably the most current and up-to-date place that I keep everything right now. You guys can always email me at ginalbulo@gmail.com, and here's my phone number also if you want to reach out that way too. So these are the places to find me if you are looking for me, you want to take classes, or you have questions. This is the place to go. And if you also want to find me, my information is also on Christine's Cards by Christine. So if you go under on her thing and you go to the bars here and you go to resources, let's see, resources, announcements, what's up? Okay, scroll down and click the calendar. And at the top of this is all of our names that do classes at Christine's studio. And you'll find my stuff in orange. So that's where my class calendar is. And my phone number is there. So if you guys need to reach me, you can also find it there. Okay? So let's get stamping. Maybe. Trying to find you guys here again. There we go. Okay. So Kay is here and Connie are here. So welcome, ladies. So like I said, I forgot to order a second kit. So we're going to walk through the scrapbook pages. So you guys are going to have a shorter class tonight. It won't be as long as it normally is. These are 6 alternative pages. That's what I do with these kits. For those of you who are new and haven't seen me do these scrapbook workshop kits, Stampin' Up! Gives you instructions on how to create 6 pages. What I like to do is give you alternatives, show you different ways to use the kit. And we'll make 6 alternative pages and we'll make 5 cards. Today we're just gonna walk through the scrapbook pages. If you have any questions about anything, please ask. And as always, you guys can email me, text me, whatever, message me on Facebook if you have any questions. So here we go. Here's the first page we did. This is Petunia Pop, I believe, or Berry Burst maybe. And this circle was already on the DSP. So, and you have all these cutouts. These were cutouts, all the flowers, and there are some more cutouts here. These white flowers here that look like lilacs. That's what I kind of make them. I think they look like a little bit like lilacs. I kind of cut them apart, some of them, and some of them are individual pieces, okay? This was one piece and this was one piece. Then you guys are also going to get these navy mats in here. That's part of the thing, and these navy butterflies. And then the coordinating stamp set that goes with this is Charming Day. So I use the dies here, and I actually took these pieces and I just kind of either cut them or tore them apart in different spots and tuck them in here. So that's all I did with this page. So you'll get 2 of those in your kit along with the butterflies, and that is all I did, is I tore them apart and then I tucked them in different spots there. And then we finished up with some of their I think they're called Charming Shimmer Gems or Shimmer Dots. Those are right here. So they come like this. So they come with Pretty Pink, Berry Burst, or is this Petunia Pop? And Night of Navy. So you'll get some of this in your kit and you can put whichever ones you want on. And then I also am including some of the braided Petal Pink ribbon. So those are the 2 things that I brought in. And I think I brought in a ribbon or 2 for some of the cards, but that's what I mostly use. These are stickers that are part of the kit. With this page, I took, this is the same DSP here, and I cut another piece here. I don't remember what size this is. I think it's 11 by 11 of the DSP. I put that down, added the mats, added a journal piece here, added these extra pieces. These are those navy pieces, so you'll have that again. Took one of the stickers and you'll get a piece of fresh freesia to make a banner. We've got some of the silver trim here that you can add to the back of it, so I'll be adding that to your kits. And then finished up with some gems. And these are two 4x6 photos, and this is a 4x4. This is probably my favorite paper right here. I love this floral paper. This is in the DSP pack also, and it's absolutely beautiful. So here we've got a piece of the two-tone Lost Lagoon. Is this the Lost Lagoon? Yes. So I cut that down. You have a strip of, that's this DSP right here. Here's a bigger image of it. I cut a strip of that, and I have a strip of this DSP. So we've got those three here. And then we have a spot for two 4x6 photos. So I put those on. And then this piece here is one long die cut that's in the kit. I tucked that under, added this floral piece, and I believe this one was another die piece too. So I got those two. I added a Cajun Craze butterfly. I thought that was really pretty. This Cajun Craze, I really like it with these colors. It's a little bit different color combinations. So really enjoyed that. Added this floral piece up here. And then this braided trim comes apart. You can just pull it apart. And so I took a few threads and I wound it behind this label here, and then there's a couple hearts in there, so I put that in there. And then this was like a little tab piece. I put that up there, and that finishes up that page along with some gems. Then there is this one. This one uses 4 different sheets, so I use the Lost Lagoon two-tone paper. There's this pink paper, pretty peacock paper, and this floral piece here. And I brought a piece. So you have 4 squares you're gonna make. 4 that measure 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then you're just going to cut them in half. So you're gonna put it in like a diamond and cut them in half. And then pick out where you want your patterns to be. So, you just lay them down like this, and that gives you a little bit of white space. So white cardstock is behind here, and I laid them all out. And then you have room here for a 5x7 photo. This was another large element die cut piece already in the kit, along with the sentiment. I added the butterfly. And then here was, I cut out a circle using the Spotlight in Nature dies. So you'll get this in your kit too. I used some of that thread and put it behind this sticker. Added a butterfly, and here's some leaves. And I probably cut some of the stem of the leaves off to make it fit under there so the stem doesn't show. So that is how that page went together. And added some gems. Anyone have any questions? I know I'm going through this kind of fast. So slow me down if you guys need me to slow down. But really, a lot of it isn't a lot of stuff. This is one huge die cut piece. So you're just laying that down. These came together very easily. This one, I used a strip of the DSP. I cut that out. There is is this Old Olive or Mossy Meadow? I think it's it might be Mossy Meadow in the kit. Okay, I have what's left of the kit. So you guys are gonna have all of this left over in the kit. Mossy Meadow it is. So that's the light side of Mossy Meadow. So you've got lots of stuff that is going to be left over for you guys to continue, either make more pages, make cards out of, whatever you want to do. So I've got a strip here of, like I said, the DSP, a strip of that Mossy Meadow, a strip of this floral, the light petal pink, and I bannered the end here. Then, so I layered those down. I put my 2 photo mats, so you got a 4x6 and a 3x4. You also get this sheet. You get 2 of these in your kit. So I cut this apart, and this is where you get some of your elements. So this here came from this. I cut this out of this piece of DSP, and I also cut another piece to go behind it out of this Timid Tiger DSP. So I've got that layered behind. And then between that Timid Tiger layer and my sentiment, I tucked in one of these leaves and one of these floral pieces here. And then up here, this was like a half circle journal piece, but instead of using it as a journal piece, I just used it as an element up here. So I put that down. I probably cut off a little bit of the leaf, the bottom of it anyway, so it didn't stick out there, and I added this banner piece that is part of the kit. And then finished up with some gems. And then for our final page, I used the light side of that Mossy Meadow, a strip of this DSP. We've got a square here of the two-tone espresso, which I really like this two-tone espresso. I don't know how many of you have seen it in person, but it has a really nice mocha, I guess, look to it. It's really, really pretty. So I really liked the softness that this brings, but you still have the depth of a dark brown. So we have that square. You have a spot for, where's my ruler? 4 pictures here. So these will be 3x3 or 3 1/8. So we've got 4 spots for photos there. And then I took a strip of that Timid Tiger DSP, floral DSP, and I cut a 1/2 inch strip there and just kind of angled the ends and put this big smiles stickers here. This is another leaf along with a floral. So that is die cut, 2 die cuts from your kit. We have this nice large floral element here, another die cut along with this banner piece, and added that here and finished off with the gems. So that is our 6 pages in a nutshell. Simple, but these die cuts made it really easy because they were so big, they filled up the page. So I didn't feel the need to add a lot of extra stuff. And like I said, there's even extra dies in here that you can use for other things too. So that is our 6 pages. This one probably had the most work to it because you had to cut squares and then cut them in half. And you can kind of see I did a pattern with them too. So I have my 2, so you have like 1 square inside of another square. So, oh, and this one I did forget to talk that I have a strip of that braided ribbon going across the strip. And then for you purple fans out there, we have these 2. So that's what I have for the scrapbook pages. Now to do some cards. So I didn't put any cards together because I used a lot of elements and things that were left over. So let's hope I remember how I created all of this. Okay, so this is the Charming Day bundle. I should say bundle, I didn't bring the dies, but this is the coordinating stamp set that goes with that set. And I also brought in Simply Said and With You in Mind. So these are the stamp sets I'll be using to put these cards together. Okay, so this card here, got some pretty peacock. We have our white for inside. I have a piece of that Timid Tiger cut. And here's a piece of basic beige that is embossed for you. This is another journal piece that was in the kit, and I cut it down to 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. And I did cut it like off the top and off of the side, and so I didn't lose any of this notebook part, and I didn't want to lose a lot of this extra. There's like some darker Timid Tiger writing in there, so it kind of has that little bit of a distressed look to it. And then these pieces here, to make them fit on my card, I actually cut them down a little bit. Let's see. So what I did is, these have a pretty large white border around all of these elements. I actually took and cut some of that white off to make it fit my card a little bit better. So I hope that makes sense. And I did the same thing with the flower. Hope you love the purple. I bet Angelique loves the purple too. We've got a lot of purple fans in the house, I know. Okay. So we are going to glue this on here like that, and then this gets glued to our card base. And I wanted this to be a diamond, and that is why I cut it smaller. When it was a diamond like this, it actually went almost the full length of, for sure it was a Timid Tiger, but it might have been almost onto the pretty peacock. So I wanted it cut down a little bit lower so that I could use it as a diamond. And we are going to pop this up. I have to say, I had a lot of fun last night. Christine was live, and I never get to catch her classes live. I'm either at work or got something going on with the kids or whatever. So it was so nice to actually be on the other end, like with all of you last night. So much fun. Not something I get to do very often. So I want this word, I guess these words, I don't know how you want to say it, towards the bottom, because I want to see some of that writing on there. Okay, and then I cut this down, and I actually cut part of the stem off, and this will just fit on our card like that. And the nice thing about these, you guys can see on the back of these, if you wanted to create this kit as it came, Stampin' Up! Has all of these labeled on the back, so you know which project or which page they go to. Okay, and then we're going to bring in our happy birthday. And some pretty peacock. And I'm going to stamp this towards the right more of my label. because this isn't going to get tucked under, and we're also going to angle our end just a little bit. We're going to put that up a little higher. And then there's just this little scallop piece in the kit. And I'm going to put this on the bottom of our label. So we're just going to tuck it under. Actually, I'm going to take my label off because I want less scallop showing, but this at least gives me an idea where I want it. You could have as much scallop showing as you want. And the nice thing about liquid glue is it gives us a little bit of time to move things around. So we got that, and then we just have to add our flower. Anyone doing anything fun this weekend? And I'm actually going to snip off a little bit more of the stem because it shows through just a little bit. How did I have this? I think it's supposed to go like that. So just like that. Look how easy that card was to put together. Okay, we'll bring this in. Happy birthday. And I will put birthday wishes on the inside. Then I'm just going to take the smaller flower. So this flower here, and I did not bring petal pink, but Chris, to save the day, I didn't even grab any scratch paper. Okay, so I've got some petal pink here. I'm actually going to do it on this side. And there we go. There's our inside piece. Hello, buddy. Krista is here in the house, and so is Susan. And Krista is designing cards and cleaning her craft room after designing is done. Sounds like you're working on your boot camp project. So some of us on the team, Stampin' Up! Is putting on some training, and I have taken advantage of it. Krista has taken advantage of it. And several other girls on the team. We are looking to grow and build our business, whether it's with sales, whether it's with team members, just overall to help us with our business. And one of the tasks, the very first task that they gave us, was to clean your craft space. And it is so true how freeing that can be, reorganizing it, pulling out the old stuff. Oh, and we've got to add some gems, guys. Just having a clean space to work in can really declutter your mind, and I completely agree with that, because I can't work in a cluttered space. Now, that doesn't mean mine doesn't get cluttered. By all means, it does. But for the most part, I design and then I pick up, and I design and I pick up. So mine stays fairly clean for the most part, but I also have a space that's dedicated for it. And then the overflow goes, and the old stuff goes in the basement. So that stuff is out of sight, out of mind. So I'm lucky to have that. Now, I haven't always been that lucky. I used to live in an apartment with a 2-bedroom apartment with the 5 of us, with teenagers and stuff like that. So I literally worked in a little tiny little corners. So I've been lucky. I've been blessed to work in a small corner. So I know what it's like for those of you that don't have the space. And I'm lucky now that I have the space to really spread out and do those kinds of things. So anyways, here's our first card. This is done. So alternative 1 is in the books. Hope, you said you're doing the boot camp too, finding it really helpful. I agree. You know, and it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this business. You know, Chris will say she's done these kinds of trainings too. It is amazing. There's always something that can help you, or even just remember to go back and clean your craft space and go through things and get rid of things you don't need. I know one of the other girls said she got she's getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff. So, you know, it's just one of those things, and it helps you do that, kind of like a good spring cleaning in the house. Makes you feel really good, right? Okay, so for our next card, we've got a base. Hello, Sherry. A base of basic beige. We've got some Cajun Craze. I have to say, I really liked the color combo in this set. I really like the Lost Lagoon, the pretty peacock, the Cajun Craze, the petal pink, the timid tiger, kind of how they all work together, along with some mossy meadow. Some really fun color combinations, and maybe ones I wouldn't always choose together. I don't know that I would have always chosen to put pretty peacock and Cajun Craze together, but I think they are a really great combination. So this is the back of that peacock piece. So we're using that for a card, and I probably could have cut it a different way. Oh no, my card goes, oh yeah, okay, so this is a horizontal card. Sorry guys, had to think for a moment. So my direction of my leaves should be really going this way, but that's how I cut it, and sometimes you just go with it. We're covering a lot of it up anyways, so just make sure that when you're cutting your DSP, you don't make the same mistakes that I make. This is what did I just say at the escape when I was doing my video? This is kind of almost a class where don't do as Gina does sometimes. Sometimes I do things wrong, or I get ahead of myself because I'm so excited to stamp with all of you, and you know, I forget to put the ribbon on, or I glue something down that shouldn't have been glued already. So I am doing all the mistakes for you a lot of times. So hopefully you learn not to do those things. Okay. So we have those all layered together. Then we have the circle piece that we're going to lay on here. Hope, what have you found to be the most helpful to you in the boot camp? So this is going to go in the center. This is going to go like that. And then this is going to, how did I do this? I gotta remember what I did, how I had this laid out. That's how I had it laid out. So it almost makes like a circle here. And I'm actually gonna take some of that ribbon and I'm gonna put that in here. Now, I showed you guys, you can take this ribbon apart, right? This just comes apart like this. Cut a section off and tear it apart. And then you end up with pieces like this. So I have some of these left over. I'm going to use these. And I'm just blindly putting these down. And hoping that they will so I'll put one down and we'll see if I need to move things around. We're gonna pop these up. So we'll put dimensionals on these. Oh, Sherry, you're doing it too. Awesome. So yours is the skeleton calendar. I agree with you guys. One thing they're teaching us about is trying to, managing our time. We all have a hard time. And I will say that is probably the biggest. I have a schedule and I try to follow it. But still sometimes designing goes over or writing tutorials goes over or, there's always something, life, whatever. So trying to find a better way to schedule things out and not always feel like you're working all the time either, because for a lot of us, we have another job outside of our Stampin' Up! Business and, families and things like that. So really taking a closer look at that calendar. I started working on mine. I'm not done with mine either, so you're not the only one behind. And just finding better ways to manage our time so that, of course, we can work more efficiently and our life is more efficient, I think. I don't know. So trying to find that better balance. That's, I guess, the words that I'm looking for, is finding that balance. And that is always hard for me because there's a lot of times where I am designing or doing tutorials or something and I feel bad because I feel like, oh, I should scrub the kitchen floor, or oh, I should really be spending time with the kids, or, any of those things. And I'm actually going to cut part of my stem off here. I'm going to pull my ribbon out a little bit there. So we've got some sticking out there. And I'm going to put some on the other side here. And then Hope says, doing the skeleton calendar and all the different types of classes. Yes, there's lots of different ways to structure our classes, and I think finding a structure that works for you is definitely a key to a lot of these things too. So yes, it's been really, really helpful. And some things are kind of repeats from other trainings I've done, but sometimes, kind of just like with stamping, you forget about techniques or a stamp set or something that you used to do way back when, and you forgot about it, and then you do it again and you're like, oh, you know, it's just kind of like an aha moment, you know, almost. And that's sometimes how these trainings go, is you kind of have an aha moment. And I love aha moments. So I could have probably done this to the flower instead of tucking it in my circle. I might be making this more complicated than it needs to be, but you know me. There we go. So I have just a little bit of ribbon there. And I think this one was going to be a birthday card also. And we're gonna do this in Pretty Peacock. Ooh, another great thing, for those of you who are not a demonstrator, or if you've ever thought about being a demonstrator, or you've ever thought of wanting to get a discount, the month of October is going to be amazing. And I know Christine talked about it last night. We both would love to have you all. Wow, that was really crooked, guys. Good thing there are two sides to a piece of paper. We're gonna try that again. I got so excited about the sale that we're going to have. If you would like to become a demo, now is the time. So during the month of October, if you want to become a demonstrator, or a discount shopper, sometimes we like to call it, because we all know we're our own best shoppers or customers, and you want a discount, right? So they are offering to join a join special. Normally our join special is purchase $125 worth of product for $99. It is going to be two options. Option one will be, oh, I just smeared my ink. Sorry, guys. So I took my bone folder because my edge was curled up, okay? So that's what I was doing there. So option one, $99 worth of product for $35. Can you guys believe that? It is insane. Or option number two will be $189 worth of product for $99. Amazing. So if you have a list, like a Christmas list, a Christmas wish list that you've made, especially with the new catalog coming out, now would be the time to order those things and become a demonstrator. And then on top of that, you get to get a free paper pumpkin. There's business supplies in there. There's catalogs in there. There might be a couple other things in there. So you're getting all of that in there too. So, and you're getting free shipping on top of it. So it is an amazing deal. Sherry says that she has never heard of this deal. I have been with Stampin' Up! Since 2016, and I don't think I have seen a deal quite, well, they've had different ones, but this one is really good. And I know when Christine joined, she joined, I forget what year she joined, if it was 2013, 2014. She joined because you could get the starter kit for $25. And I don't remember if that was a special anniversary or something like that. So that is why she joined when she did. She figured she could just order paper and never do anything with it. Well, little did she know that she would turn this into quite a business. So, if you've ever wondered, we would love to have you join our teams. And the other great thing about being a demonstrator is you get sneak peeks on everything. So we get to see everything about a month early. So, one other plus to all of that. All right, our inside of our card. Let's see, we've got happy birthday, birthday wishes. We'll bring that in. That is one thing I would like Stampin' Up! To bring, is more sentiments to put inside of our cards. Like verses, I should say. Uh-oh. And then I'm gonna bring in our Cajun Craze. So lots of wonderfulness happening in October. Bring in my little scratch piece. And I just kind of want more of the flower on this one. So I'm gonna stamp it like that. And there we go. Then we can take our Wink of Stella here and color this in a little bit. So our Wink of Stella picks up that ink and transfers it a little bit. Look at that. Ta-da! All right. So card number 2 is done. Plus, when you're a demonstrator, you get to go to demonstrator events, and those are a blast. That is how I got to meet so many of these lovely ladies. Sherry, Hope, I both met both of these wonderful ladies back in March when we were all in Raleigh together. So that was super fun. Okay. Here's card number 2. Okay, card number 3. Okay, so these pieces here come from, let me see if I can find it. I think I cut it off of both sheets though. So that sheet that had that sentiment on it that I said you could cut apart, here it is. Okay. Well, maybe this isn't the one. Nope, this isn't the one. But there is a sheet that has another strips and different things like that on it. So this is cut out from that. So there was a long strip, like a 12 by 12 strip, and another little tiny piece of this pattern paper. So I cut them all the same. And we're gonna lay them on our DSP like this, and leaving a small space right here. Yes, I agree. There's lots of wonderful people, and it's a happy thing. Let me tell you. When you're with that many women in a room, I never know what to expect because, you know, we all know what it's like. Sometimes it can be stressful and different personalities and all of that, but there is so much, I don't know, excitement and I don't want to say, like, liveliness. Everyone is so excited to be there and so happy, and it's just a wonderful community to be a part of. And I honestly don't know what I would do without this community that we have. I have met some of the best people. I've gained a sister. I consider Chris the sister I never got to have, and her family has become my family. It truly has been an amazing experience for me. Okay, so I have these pretty much as even as you can get them spaced out, leaving this space open in the middle. So that is where we're going to put this piece of ribbon. I feel like I'm missing something, you guys. Oh, okay. Here we go again. I don't know what I'm doing. I created a card and I don't remember how I created it. I remember now. It's coming to me. Slow and steady. Okay, so on the back piece of our ribbon, you know, when you create a bunch of cards together, they all just get kind of mushed together. And after doing my display, they really become mushed together. I think I had like, I don't know, 25 projects or so that I made for my board. So then our circle's gonna go like that. And I'm gonna make this a thank you card. And I love using big sentiments like this to fill in. Okay, so we have that there. We're going to add dimensionals. And this is going to get kind of nestled between these two panels. So we've got that. And then what I like to do with this ribbon is just kind of, you don't even have to hardly do anything. I'm just pushing it a little bit just to kind of like fray the edges a little bit like that. And it fills in that spot a little bit more. We're going to burnish our edge there. A simple card like that, and the DSP gets to be the focal point. And then on this one, I want to use this really pretty large floral piece in here. So we're going to use that on the inside, and I'm not going to put a sentiment because this is a thank you card. And this actually needs a bigger block. So I think these are the E block. And that's gonna go in the corner here. We're gonna bring our petal pink back in. And we're gonna just go in the corner like that. Isn't that pretty? Like this would make a pretty card all on its own by stamping this here and stamping it there. And then you could put a sentiment in the middle of that. That would be really pretty. I just stuck my fingers in the ink pad. So usually when I do these kits, I do tend to do a little bit simpler cards and try to make use of whatever is left over from the kits, but there usually is plenty to go around in these kits. Okay, well, that's card number 3 for you. Oh, you know what? I was going to put this on the bottom. And you know what? I still am going to do this. So this was a piece that came off of that strip when I cut it. So I am still going to add that in here. There we go. How pretty is that? Okay, card number 4. Oh, this is a fun one. So we've got our crumb cake base, our inside, some Blackberry Bliss. Look at this mossy meadow ribbon. Isn't it gorgeous? I love this ribbon, and we have some real red ribbon that is shimmery like this. Really, really pretty. Okay, got our 2 labels, and there are these 3 pieces in the kit. And I know most people would look at this and go, oh, what do I do with this? You can't put this on a card, it's too big. But you can. So we're gonna lay these out on the card like so. I gotta figure out, how did I do this? Which order did I have this laid out in? This is how I had it. There we go. So I cut a piece of the DSP. So this DSP is actually part of, hello Melanie, this sheet. So that's this sheet here, and I cut it down to make a base. So I've got my flowers laid out like this, and I'm going to pop them up. And then I'll lay each one down, and then we'll just cut off the extra. So that's a great way to use up these larger elements that they sometimes put in with these kits. Okay. So make sure that you're placing your dimensionals. Like I've got a few peeking out through the edge here, but that they're ending up on there versus off of your paper. This is almost all this purple is making me wish for spring, but I love fall, so I'm not gonna wish for spring yet. Oops, and I just put these all on the wrong spot, on the wrong side. I love lilacs. I think lilacs are so pretty. This probably isn't a lilac, but that's what I'm calling it, and that's what I'm going with here. You guys have probably seen me change this flower around, I don't know how many times. Okay, so now we're just going to take our scissors. You could stick this in your trimmer if you wanted to. So if there's larger elements, now you know you guys how you can use them on a card. So look at that. Isn't that cool? So we got our mat here, and we'll glue the, wow, my glue just sputtered here. Look at that, just how pretty that is. Okay, and then this will go on our card base. So this is the two-tone blackberry that we're using. That was part of the kit. And we're gonna bring in our happy birthday again. With our blackberry. Phew, turned out good. Okay, and then we're gonna wrap some of this behind our white label. So we're just weaving this back and forth. Like that. We'll cut off the excess. And then this will go on the crumb cake. Like that. And then we'll pop and kind of where it has a little bit of this bigger flower here, that's where we're going to put this. And I'm going to let it go off the side here like that. And then I think I forgot to put gems on some of my cards. I did. We should go back and put some gems on, shouldn't we? Such pretty gems. So there's that one. Now we just got to finish up our inside. Now a little tip for you guys, you see my photopolymer stamp is sliding on my block, it's not sticking. All you have to do is I'm going to take and run it under the sink here. How nice and handy of this sink to be right here. And I'm going to wash it with just a little bit of soap and water. And then that should give it its tackiness back so that it's not sliding. See, now it's not sliding on our stamp anymore. So if you ever run into that issue, that's all you have to do is run your photopolymers. I would make sure you plug your sink or anything like that so you don't lose any little ones. It seems like the little ones will do that really easy, is lose that stickiness. And there's a little greenery piece here. I'm going to do that in the corner with some mossy meadow. We'll bring in our little sheet like that, and our wink of Stella. Got a few drops of water there. Clean those up so hopefully I don't have a wet card. A lot of glue came out. Lots of glue. Must have air bubbles going inside where it's pushing out. There we go. Card number 4 done, and on to card, our final card here. So this is a piece of the DSP, my favorite DSP. So I cut a mat size and I cut at 3 inches, and that left me the other 2 inches here. So I flip that over. We're going to adhere that to our piece of petal pink. Now, if your middle doesn't match up, it should, but if it doesn't, that's okay. We're going to put a piece of ribbon in the middle, so it won't matter. But if for some reason they didn't touch, or, you know, sometimes you don't get your borders just right, and so it seems a little off, but I did that pretty well. Okay. You always want to burnish your edge there. That helps your card lay a little bit flatter. Actually, I was supposed to wrap this around, but that's okay. We'll go to plan B. We're going to do what we did before. Put a piece of tear tape along the center on our line here. Like that. And I think I'm going to make this one, thanks for being you. And I will stamp this in a, I have boxes falling on me under here. Like, what is laying on my leg? It would be some boxes. So I got thanks for being you. This paper alone, like the card is pretty without any sentiment on it, I think. Okay. We're going to put these on first. So these are going to go like that. One on each corner, kind of. I didn't think we had any weather coming in the forecast, but it is looking a little bit gloomy out there. So I got that one there. And this one's gonna go like that. Kind of nice to sit out here and be able to look out the window. Sometimes though, the sun in the mornings, the sun will come in just right though, and it could be blinding, or at the end of the day. And I just realized that I should probably put dimensionals not in the middle, because this ribbon here is really thick and I really don't need dimensionals up high. I put these larger ones back, maybe. So this will nestle just the outsides of our ribbon nicely and not have as much bulk. Okay, so this is just gonna go in the center like that, and I'm gonna cut these. No, I'm gonna leave these. Look how easy that comes apart. I love that. So I'm just kind of rubbing these ends together, separating them just a little bit, giving them that kind of frayed, ribbony look to it. Look how pretty that is. And we'll stamp our inside. And I'll take this large one again and use that petal pink. And I will leave it blank once again because it is a thank you card. I always leave my thank you cards blank because I never know what I want to use my thank you card for. And that way I can put whatever I want based off of what I'm sending a thank you card for. Okay, so here we go with today. So here's our 5 cards using the kit. Oh wait, I did one thing right here. We gotta put some gems, right? Gotta add a little bling. Sometimes the sticky stays on the sheet instead of coming with the gem. All you have to do is place the gem down and push down on it and pick it back up. Uh-oh, Susan, did I convince you to buy this kit? Oh, you have to go now. Well, thank you for joining me, Susan. I appreciate that. Okay, so here are 5 cards. Using the kit. And here are the alternatives that we made. Now, for those of you that came on late, I actually did not order a second kit. For whatever reason, I always order 2 kits, and I didn't get that second kit ordered. So I just kind of walked through the steps today of what I did that was extra or, you know, special. So here are the scrapbook pages that we did. If you want these kits, it's a $75 order. You must have the kit in that order or have the kit at home already. And then order anything else that you need. And then I will send you the additional kit with gems and ribbon, cardstock, extra die cut pieces. So you guys have until October 1st. So Christine had mentioned she might be moving up her shipping date. So that means I need to kit up a little bit sooner than I planned. So if you want this, you need your order to be put in by October 1st. Now remember, I have the fall samplers that are still available. So everything's going to be available till, well, I should change this. We're going to give you guys all until next week Friday. So next week Friday is the 4th to get your orders in for all of these classes I have coming up in the next. I just did this class on Wednesday, but I have this class in person tomorrow and in person in the Hive, or not in the Hive, at my home next week Sunday. And I'm also doing this kit class in person next Sunday. So if anybody wants to join in person to make the kits, let me know. That'll be next week Sunday. This I did online already, but you can still order the kits for this. So the kit includes 2 12x12 samplers, does not include the frame. So you get to make the Halloween one and the fall one. So you could leave this out the rest of September. You could put this out in October, and then you could bring this one back out in the month of November. In November, we'll be doing 2 other samplers. We are going to do a Christmas one, and then I will do a winter one. The frame, like I said earlier, is something I got from Hobby Lobby. I did post the video that I did for that class on my Facebook page. And on that post in the comments, I have the link for this frame. And it comes in multiple colors, so you can choose which color you want. And don't forget, I also have 2 other classes coming up yet this week. So Monday, we have these beauties. Right here, these 3 cards. This is the Morning Create class on Monday. This is both live and in person. Cost is $19 plus $6 for shipping. And those of you who like to combine shipping, you just have, with Christine, just let me know, and then we try to work out so we can reduce your shipping costs. And then next weekend is World Card Making Day, and we are doing a Christmas card buffet. So we'll make 6 cards. Those of you who are in person, you get to pick which cards you want to make, and if you want to make 2 of one and 3 of another, and so on and so forth. Those of you who want the kits online, you get to order All 6 cards you will get shipped to you. Here's 1 card. I have to design 5 other cards. I'm hoping to go home and design some more, and we'll see. There's no promises, but hopefully I've get some mojo back in me, and I can maybe get most of them done. I'm hoping tonight, where I could have them done before Christine's showcase, which is tomorrow, I believe at 10 or 10:30. One of those times. So she is doing her October showcase tomorrow morning, so you'll want to tune in for that. Oh, what else do I have for you guys? Don't forget about the sign-up special coming in October. Get your lists ready to come join us. And thank you all for joining me today. I know I kind of cut things a little short by not having the extra kit, but I really hate canceling a class. And the same thing goes with things at the salon for me. I find that it's so much easier to do things when you don't have to cancel them, because then I would have to look into, you know, these next week and a half or so. I have class after class after class, so I'd almost have to push this class out 2 weeks, and then we're running into the Halloween scrapbook pages are what we'll be doing in October. So I didn't want to push this out. So like I said, if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know. You can email me, call me, text me, Facebook message me. I had to think for a second. If you have any questions in regards to any of those things. So like I said, I really hate to cancel things and then you push it out, or you swap something else out with that. It just kind of messes with the rest of stuff. And I hate to cancel on you guys, because I know some of you really look forward to this time, and I know I do when I get the chance to do these things. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today and watching. And like I said earlier, and I mentioned this in a previous video, that I know some of you have been a little disappointed that I haven't been getting tutorials out. And please know that I am working very diligently trying to stay caught up with them and get caught up. So I'm trying to stay with current and go back and do the ones that I have missed. So I did take a short break here over the last 2 weeks or so with designing for the escape, and now we're kind of getting back on track. So all of this wonderful stuff is coming your way, slow and steady, and I'm looking forward to see you guys all next week. And I hope you all have a great weekend. I just better double check any comments here. Thank you, Sherry. Yes. Keep in mind too, you can mass produce a lot of things too when designing. So yes, always a good tip. So thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate all of your support of my small business and joining me crafting. I really enjoy our time together. So I will see you all on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.